Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the last weekly astrology forecast for the year of 2025 and the first astrology forecast for the year 2026. This week is a week of grounded beginnings. It's a week of aligning karmically, and it's a week of really kind of upping our game at living and breathing and moving and creating through a time of change. It's a threshold week, to say the least. And that's partially because we're closing one year, we're beginning another year. I'm going to do a whole 2026 forecast. But it's not just the year, it's our identity, it's our direction. It's worth noting that Capricorn season is fully online right now, and Cap wants us to be sure-footed. So the emphasis here is responsibility, embodiment, and Cap moves slowly, so there's something about long-term orientation. And we have some, I'll get to the specific aspects here, but the nodes are active. Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn are active. So this is the themes here are kind of flexibility, intuition, and discernment. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with the 28th, Sunday. And there's no major aspects today, but this is a day for setting the container for the week. It's a threshold day, and it's really about, being able to be in the stillness and prepare for a week of recalibration. So today was a good day to just to ground, to rest, to really look within to what you're sensing to be true. And remembering that Capricorn isn't about immediate gratification here. Capricorn is about what we're willing to tend to consistently. So let Sunday be about simplifying, and let Sunday be about listening, and let Sunday also be about, not just sensing what's closing, but also sensing what we're wanting to be built. And it doesn't have to be a big day of clarity. This is just about a day of presence. And let's get to Monday, December 29th. This is where, we have kind of destiny meeting some discipline, and discipline is that's the Capricorn theme, right? So we have Mars sextiling the North Node in around 8 o'clock on Monday, the 29th. And Mars is in Capricorn, and this is about purposeful action. And it's about effort that, we're aligning not to just what our ego would like. We're aligning to what our destiny, why we're really here. So this is about kind of this steady motivation. It's not about, paparazzi and glamour. It's about integrity, and it's about really listening to what is true for us, and taking practical steps. Um, Maybe even kind of just initiating something or committing to something that really will echo forward in our lives. And then we get to Tuesday, December 23rd. On the 23rd, this is kind of a day. There's just one aspect. This is a day for mental clarity, or maybe mental sobriety, with Mercury squaring Saturn really early in the morning around 2 a.m. And this is kind of a reality check, but it doesn't have to be a harsh one. This transit is about the mind, and it's about letting our thoughts slow so that we can really truly feel and listen for what is true. And it's okay if there's doubts. It's okay if conversations feel a little bit uh, restrained. There might be some criticism, some self-criticism. This is a day for just kind of being with it. This isn't a day, this isn't mental failure if we're talking about a mental transit. This is about refinement. Remember, Saturn is a karmic planet, and Saturn, some people think it's about punishment, but Saturn is about it appreciates Capricorn. It's about let's really be in this to win this. Let's make sure that we're oriented toward the big picture. So this is a day for listening and refinement. And, Saturn is asking Mercury to mature. If Mercury is the 3D octave of our communication and Uranus is the higher octave of our energetic communication, Saturn's really asking Mercury to uh, own all the things that we vibrate about. It's inviting Mercury to be more like Uranus, and less just like stuck in the mundane world. So one of the things we could do today is to like speak less and to listen more instead of just going on autopilot and blurting out our thoughts. This is about clarity over speed today on Tuesday, the 30th. And then we get to Wednesday, the 31st. This might feel a little bit restless here, but we're also going to be, it's about redirection and reorientation here. Mercury's active today in two transits. One of them happens at around 8 o'clock in the morning, and that's Mercury quincunx Uranus. So the communication is theme is weaving through the week. And so this might, coming off the heels of what happened on Tuesday, the mind might feel a little bit unsettled. Information may feel a little bit incomplete. There's this sense of, Uranus is that lightning bolt of immediate adjustment. So it's really important for us to be authentic and willing to flow and adjust kind of on the fly here. So this transit is about flexibility, and it's inviting us to avoid the rigid thinking of my way or the highway. That's in the morning. And then right at the end of the day, around 11:30 at night, we have Mercury quintile to the North Node. And this is perfect because this is right as the year is closing. There's this kind of subtle insight that's arriving. And Mercury quintile the North Node, this isn't loud. But it's meaningful. It's going to resonate. There might be a thought or a realization, maybe even a conversation if you're out being social at that time of the evening that'll help reframe your direction. So this is about using our intuition, using our energetic understanding, and really orienting ourselves. The North Node is why our soul's really here and where we're headed. So there might be a kind of like a little bit of a mental pivot here that'll help us orient toward the real optimal future. So this is about, if we close out 2025, maybe one of the themes is let's close out the year without forcing any conclusions. Let's close out the year without forcing anything. And let's invite the new year in organically. As organically as we close it out, let's invite it in. And that brings us to January 1st, Thursday, and that's 2026. So excited to share with you guys the 2026 um uh, downloads. And if I can, I'm going to see if I can do a live this week. I don't know, it might be a meditation, but keep your eye, if you're seeing this on Substack. I'm gonna offer up a live kind of event midweek. I'm gonna experiment with it just so you know, as you guys know, my internet connection, I live in the woods. So if I can pull it off, I'm gonna try to add another offering for you guys. But let's get to what's happening. Sorry. This on Thursday. So Mars is sesquiquadrate Uranus, and this is really early in the morning, around 3 a.m. And so this is kind of gonna feel like there's a hum of we know change is afoot, and maybe we can even feel a little bit restless about it. We're ready to release something. We're ready to kind of, if we've been boxed in by something that isn't true, if there's something in the world that an old structure, so to speak, um, we're going to feel that. But there's a caveat here about January 1st. This isn't about forcing and rushing as we closed out the year just the night before, right? So if we're rushing, this could be a little volatile. Uranus is that lightning bolt, right? But if we're channeling it into intentional action, intentional communication, but really action, because Mars is the I am planet. So this is about movement, not rebellion. This is about truth and integrity and authenticity, but it is also a moment to speak our truth. But to do so, I'm going to offer from the heart, because that is always the way to our bodies read where we're speaking from, right? So speak your truth, but speak it from the heart. The other aspect, well, actually, there's two more aspects that are happening today. And one is that right after this at 3 a.m., the sun is sextiling the North Node. So this is the true New Year alignment. Sun is in Cap, and it's going to harmonize with the North Node. And there's going to be this sense of kind of illumination and purpose and direction. So I'm going to offer that this isn't about resolutions. This isn't about punishment. This isn't about us doing something wrong and needing to do something right. This is about alignment. And one of the questions we can ask ourselves is, what kind of a reality, what kind of a life, what kind of a vibration, what kind of a future am I actually building? And the key here isn't a big, a resolution can feel like I'm never going to drink coffee again. And it's just like, whoa, that's a big thing, right? This is about small, grounded choices. And so, I would offer small grounded choices today and moving forward is kind of a more potent, especially with the Capricorn sun aligning with the North Node. Instead of like big grand declarations, that's going to be way easier for us to fall off of if we take these moment to moment to moment aligned decisions. That's what is going to help us in the new year. And the final aspect is still happening right in the morning on the first. It's going to be Mercury is going to square Neptune. So, um, hmm. Neptune is about illusion and delusion. So Mercury is about communication. This means that disinformation is still afoot in the collective. And, it's not about getting involved in the battle about that. It's about staying true to what we know to be true. And one of the caveats I would say is don't rush anything. Be willing to sit with it. Be willing to pause and ask for a sign from the universe. Give it another couple hours. Let your intuition and your understanding of energy guide you, but also, verify with time. Sometimes I like to, if I'm feeling like I feel like it, but I'm a little bit not sure. Hey, universe, give me a sign in the next 12 to 24 hours. Give me a sign of something that is kind of unusual in my life, and then I wait to see if it happens. So this is a day for listening beneath words, and this is about not just taking something at its face value. Um, yeah, I hope that's helpful. Friday the 2nd, this is about structural grace, aligning with our relations, but structural grace is one of the words that's coming through. And we have Venus sextiling the North Node. That's where this is coming through. This is right at the beginning of the 2nd of Friday. It's around 1 a.m. So this is a beautiful and supportive transit for all sorts of relationships, for all sorts of ideas of justice and harmony, all of our values. And so this is a day where we can find meaning and authenticity around the way that we choose to act around themes of love and relationship and money and justice and self-value and self-worth. And so this is going to be a time, if we can really lean into that, it's going to be pretty easy to align with who we are and why we're here. So there's this sense of kind of karmic ease. The other aspect that happens on Friday, it happens in the evening around 9 o'clock at night, and this is Mars is quintiling Saturn. So this is about strength with patience, uh, creativity, but in a disciplined manner. Um, and if we're taking action, we're doing so from a sense of deep wisdom. And the other thing that's happening is the year opens in this first week on Friday. If something previously felt unclear or daunting, there's going to be this sense of, oh wait, hey, maybe I can do this. This might be possible. So this is actually, even though it's kind of a Mars quintile Saturn, it's not a major aspect, this is one of the best transits for the week for making steady progress. So if you do something on Friday, let it be that you're doing something that requires you to put your stake in the ground and make a commitment to something. There's a real good sense that if you initiate something or commit to something on that day, it will hold. I love it. Okay, finally, Saturday, January 3rd. This is about adjustment and empowerment. We have Uranus and Pluto pretty active today. So Sun sesquiquadrate Uranus around 2 a.m. This is about, again with Uranus, we may feel the urge to do something suddenly or to resist or to rebel, but Sun sesquiquadrate Uranus is inviting us to pause before we take action, to make an adjustment, to move for sure, but not to charge ahead, not to rupture something. This is about the pivotal and intentional medicine. At around noon, we have Mercury semi-sextile to Pluto. So this is going to give us this sense of when Mercury's semi-sextile Pluto, there's going to be this mental clarity. Our insight, our intuition can hone in on something and sharpen. There may be something that felt unclear previously that we'll really be able to come to understand. And, because Pluto's involved, this is about power dynamics. This is about a truth that we've kind of been circling around. Um, and this is about, again, quiet empowerment. We're not screaming from the mountaintops here. This is about awareness, empowerment via awareness. And the final aspect for this week is Venus is sesquiquadrate to Uranus. This is about 5 o'clock on Saturday evening. This is all Pacific time, by the way. And so this means there might be some emotional restlessness or some, lightning bolt of change. Relationships of all kinds, communications of all kinds are going to ask for honesty and for flexibility. And it's worth noting that this doesn't mean instability here with Uranus. This is about truth asking to 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 start to come to the surface. Truth is asking us to move. So here with the week, I'm going to offer stay curious versus reactive. So in sum, this week is about how we're moving forward, not just what our intentions are. And so this is about intuitive listening, energetic listening, being willing to pivot, but doing so from a not from a state of reaction, not from a state of rupture or anything like that. This is about recalibration and destiny aligned action. So we're not rushing to find clarity here. We're being in the truth of the now moment. And it's a week to choose realignment over urgency. All right, guys, have a blessed Sunday. And don't forget to check out the meditation that I'll offer here next to go with this week. Blessings and love, and Happy New Year.